The Brécourt Manor Assault during the U.S.parachute assault of the Normandy invasion of World War II was often cited as a classic example of small unit tactics and leadership in overcoming a larger enemy force. Objective: as a result of the crash of a C-47 having killed its company commander Thomas Meehan III, command of Company E, 2nd Battalion, 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment of the 101st Airborne Division defaulted to the company executive officer, 1st Lt. Richard Winters, after linking up with his parent unit at the hamlet of Le Grand-Chemin on the morning of 6 June 1944. Winters was ordered up front away from his company, with minimal instructions of "there's fire along that hedgerow there, take care of it," and no briefing. Winters found himself given the task of destroying a German artillery battery. The battery had initially been reported to be 88 mm guns firing onto Causeway Exit No. 2 leading off Utah Beach and disrupting landing forces of the U.S. 4th Infantry Division advancing inland on this route. Several other units had stumbled onto the German position earlier in the morning and had been repulsed. Winters undertook a reconnaissance at about 0830, after which he collected a team of 12 men from his own and other companies. Beyond knowledge of the general location of the gun emplacements south of Le Grand-Chemin and without information of the other side of the hedgerow, Winters' team attacked Brécourt Manor, located 3 miles southwest of Utah Beach and north of the village of Sainte Marie du Mont. There he discovered No. 6 Battery of the 90th Artillery Regiment, consisting of 4 105 mm howitzers connected by trenches and defended by a company of soldiers. Winters held that the unit was part of the 6th Fallschirmjäger Regiment with emplaced MG-42 machine guns. The 1st Battalion of the 6th had been ordered to Sainte Marie du Mont from Carentan during the afternoon but arrived after dark. The 1st Company 919th Grenadier Regiment was posted at Sainte Marie du Mont and was responsible for the area. Elements of 1058th Grenadier Regiment were defending throughout the vicinity, and the artillery was part of this division also. The 795th Georgian Battalion, attached to the 709th ID, was to the northwest at Turkville but is less likely to have been present because of terrain difficulties. Whichever unit defended the battery, the U.S. paratroopers were opposed by approximately 60 German soldiers. A crew originally assigned to the 4 105 mm guns had apparently deserted during the night of the airborne landings. Oberstleutnant Friedrich von der Hayter of the German 6th Parachute Regiment, upon discovering they had been abandoned while observing the landings at Utah Beach, traveled to Carentan where he ordered his 1st Battalion to occupy and hold Sainte Marie du Mont and Brécourt, and find men to work on the artillery battery. Battle. Upon arrival at the battery location, Winters made his plan. He positioned a pair of M1919 machine guns for covering fire and sent several soldiers to one flank to destroy a machine gun position with grenades, and provide covering fire, while the trenches connecting the artillery positions provided the Germans with an easy way to supply and reinforce the guns. They also proved to be the biggest weakness. After destroying the first gun position, Winters and the rest of his team used the trenches as covered approaches to attack the remaining guns in turn. Each gun was destroyed by placing a block of TNT down its barrel and using German stick grenades to set off the charges. Reinforcements from Company D, led by 2 DLT Ronald C. Spears, arrived to complete the assault on the 4th and last gun. Spears had a reputation as an excellent and extremely aggressive officer, and he led his men against the last gun position by running outside the trenches, exposing himself to enemy fire. After the 4 guns were disabled, Winter's team came under heavy machine gun fire from Brécourt Manor and withdrew. He had discovered a German map in one gun position that was marked with the locations of all German artillery and machine gun positions throughout that area of the Cotentin Peninsula. This was an invaluable piece of intelligence, and once Winters returned to Le Grand Chemin, he passed it on to the 2nd Battalion Intelligence Officer 1st Lt. Louis Nixon. Nixon, realizing this to be an essential piece of intelligence, ran the 3 miles to Utah Beach and passed the information up the chain of command. Command was so thrilled with the information provided by Nixon and Winters that it sent the first 2 tanks to reach Utah Beach to support the paratroopers. Winters also directed the fire of 2 American tanks which arrived later from Utah Beach to eliminate remaining German resistance. Winters lost 1 man, PFC John D. Halls, from an 81mm mortar platoon, and Private Robert Popeye Wynn was wounded during the attack. Another casualty was Warrant Officer Andrew Hill, who was killed when he came upon the battle while searching for the headquarters of the 506th PIR. Sergeant Rusty Hook from F Company, who was with Spears, was killed as well. 1 soldier from D Company under Spears' command was also killed, as well as 1 soldier wounded from D Company. Aftermath. Troops landing at Utah Beach had a relatively easy landing, due in part to this successful assault. Colonel Robert Sink, the commander of the 506th PIR, recommended Winters for the Medal of Honor, but the award was downgraded to the Distinguished Service Cross due to the policy of only 1 Medal of Honor awarded per division, which was awarded to Lieutenant Colonel Robert G. Cole. There was a campaign to upgrade Winters' Distinguished Service Cross to the Medal of Honor, as many felt he deserved, but the bill to award the Medal of Honor to Winters, H.R. 796, died in committee at the end of the 110th United States Congress and has not been reintroduced since by its sponsor, Tim Holden. The official Army history of these events on D-Day is quite about the battle. Army historian S.L.A. Marshall interviewed Winters about the attack, but the interview was not private. Many of Winters' superior officers were present and, according to his memoir Beyond Band of Brothers, he may have downplayed his description of the event to avoid personal accolade and to keep the account succinct. In fact, Marshall stated in his report that Winters had about 200 men under his command. However, nearly every man involved was later recognized for his role in the attack. A documentary produced by filmmaker and trial attorney Vance Day titled The Battle at Brécourt Manor was premiered in August 2010 in Salem, Oregon during an event for Donald Malarkey, who served in Easy Company and during the engagement at Brécourt Manor. Day is a good friend of Malarkey's and the two traveled extensively to conduct frontline leadership seminars around the country, primarily for law enforcement, military, and leadership organizations. Lynn Buck Compton also was regularly involved in both events for frontline leadership and the Battle at Brécourt Manor showings. Medals awarded: Distinguished Service Cross 1st Lt. Richard Winters, Silver Star 2D Lt. Lynn Buck Compton, Sergeant William Wild Bill Guana, PFC Gerald Lorraine, Bronze Star Sergeant Carwood Lipton, Private Robert Popeye Wynn, Private Cleveland Petty, Private Walter Hendricks, Private Donald Malarkey, Private Myron N. Ranney, Private Joseph Liebgott, Private John Plesher, Corporal Joe Toy, PFC John D. Halls, Sergeant Julius Rusty Hook, Woe Andrew Hill, Purple Heart Private Robert Popeye Wynn, PFC John D. Halls, Sergeant Julius Rusty Hook, Woe Andrew Hill.